Bernard James, great to see you.
Good to see you.
And welcome to JCK. How do you feel? Is this your first show?
This is my first show. I used to show at other trade shows when I was doing different work. This was years ago at this point. So it's my first time back in Vegas in a while, and it's been great so far. It's day one. Talk to me after day 5 and we'll see.
First time as an independent designer showcasing your own jewelry. And so tell us a bit about your journey into that independent world that you're now representing yourself.
Absolutely. So I left my full-time position. I was at a large luxury brand up until 5 months ago, actually. And the transition has actually been a bit more seamless than I thought. Obviously, there are some hurdles. There's some differences between the two industries. I was working at fashion before and now being fully invested into jewelry. It's actually a very seamless transition. Great company. There are a lot of incredible personalities in the industry, and they're very welcoming. I will also say this program has been a great way to transition. So obviously I cheated a little bit being a part of this, but it's been good. I can't complain.
So was that always the intention, to work independently, to express yourself in your own jewelry?
Absolutely. So I've always used jewelry and design as sort of a way to not only understand myself, but understand the world around me. So, being able to dive into jewelry full time and really work on the craft, express myself in this way has been really rewarding.
And so how do you achieve that expression through your jewelry, particularly your collection that you're showcasing here?
So this collection is actually all about process, and again, I just left my full-time position, a fairly long career. So in transitioning, I had to definitely take a step back and understand my craft, what I was doing, the materials that I'm working with. That's really how I'm sort of translating the idea of my state, or the state I'm in at this point in the business. I worked a lot with natural stones in a different capacity, so working with the shapes, playing around, like you have this rough cut to fully polished story here. You've seen the drop earring as well in this ring. So that was really fun to work on, and really just diving into the process of how stones are worked with and manufactured. And then the flora, for instance, is a take on what people know the brand by now. I was inspired by the Brooklyn Botanic Garden where I grew up. So I spent most of my time actually in the garden as a kid. So I really wanted to play with the forms and the shapes and also the colors of flora. That's seen in my work, like this necklace that I have on is an example of that. So it was interesting to sort of take that inspiration, remove the color, and really focus on the stones and how the stones play with the form of the petals and the shapes that they make.
I love that you're tapping into your childhood hobby over there.
I feel like that's what design is, right? It's just tapping into different stages of life, where you are now, where you've come from, and where you hope to be.
And your experiences too, it makes it more authentic, I guess.
Exactly. I would say that I'm inspired by emotion. The people that I meet, how I can translate sort of a mood and a feeling in a physical piece. That's really important to me.
And so are you doing custom work where you would tap into that emotion of the person?
Very much so.
Can you tell if they're happy or sad?
Right. I'm not excited about something, especially when it's custom, because I do a lot of custom work. And I'm not excited about it until I know that this person thinks it's perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect for me necessarily. Of course, I would like my voice, my vision to shine through and make sure that there are consistencies. But if a person's wearing it every day, it has to be perfect for them. They have to live with it. Jewelry is such a personal thing. So you want that relationship for the person to have, the piece forever.
Right. And at the end of the day, as a custom piece, you want it to reflect their emotions rather than yours. And the challenge is to mesh your creativity into that. Right?
And I love a challenge. I love figuring problems out.
What do you love most about the jewelry industry?
Well, initially, because I'm really diving in, the approach that I had in my previous roles, working for different luxury and fashion brands, I've taken that into the diamond industry, or how I approach the collections. But I would say initially, now that I'm diving in full time, I would say just the camaraderie and the spirit of collaboration is super important. Having that relationship with your partners and even other fellow designers to really build the best product, and we build each other up, which has been really rewarding.
That's pretty awesome to hear, because sometimes you think about creativity and design and writing as a kind of a lonely sport.
Right.
But the collaboration brings out the best in both parties, I think.
It's funny you say that, because I know a lot of writers, and it definitely is in an individual sort of career, but just this dialogue that we're having has been so beneficial to me, at least, and being able to sort of go back and forth with you and understand. Even the questions that you're asking me, I can understand that you have a vast knowledge of the industry and of different collections because you have different people that you work with and talk to.
Yeah, well, that's my favorite part of the industry, and certainly at the shows. This isn't your first JCK show or luxury show, and I'm sure that just exhibiting here, you'll meet a lot of people.
Oh,
is that the goal?
That's the goal, definitely.
Getting the word out.
Exactly.
That's
getting
awesome.
The word out.
Well, Bernard, thanks very much. Good luck.
Thank you.
Have a great show.
It was good to meet you. Thank you.
Likewise.